The most important question I ever got was, what is your legacy? Not a material legacy, but if life stops here, how do you want to be remembered? What is that energy? How do people see you? This podcast series is a result of that question, what is my legacy? A phoenix is burning itself on a funeral pyre and rising from the ashes with renewed youth to live through another cycle. This fertile ash is filled with phoenix frequencies of compassion, love, forgiveness, intuition, wisdom, generosity, resilience, creativity, an evolution and involution. I've been in the ashes. I give voice to my phoenix. I share how I pioneer with ease. That's a lifestyle, a choice. I'm Nienke van Bezooien, and I welcome you to listen and invite you to rise. Welcome to the Phoenix Frequencies. An existential crisis, a period of deep question about your purpose in life, your values, your capacities, can make or create a feeling of meaninglessness, which can lead to anxiety and are often the root for depression. Feeling empty and facing lack of direction, settling with a life that doesn't feel as a fit, an identity confusion. In my graduate master, we see this a lot when people are faced with their vulnerability in health. But also other life events can trigger an existential crisis. Divorce, or when my husband died. Who am I in this new situation? But also the other side, as a creator, it can feel like, how do I act as the wife of a psychiatric patient? How do I do that? Who am I in that relationship? And when the relationship doesn't feel equal any longer, against my values, how do I do that? From a phoenixing perspective, we have a choice. The choice of the ashes or to rise. But when the crisis first occurs, it can be confusing, draining, devastating. Illnesses can lead to drastic changes in life. I loved training groups. With my hearing loss and my acquired brain injury, that became a dead-end road. And for a long time I tried hard to create a different outcome until I surrendered. So from the impossible to I am possible, but in a creative form. This week I spoke with a dear friend. For months she struggled, faces an existential crisis during the process with her life's partner. Recently he got a diagnosis of dementia. We spoke a lot of how to create a life that works for the both of them in the new situation. Thinking and keeping the overview for the both of them created for my friend nervous system in overdrive. Being alert had worn her out and led to multiple physical symptoms affecting her health. An existential crisis was showing up. She's a highly experienced person in self-reflection in her work, and she knows what supports her in her recovery. But it seemed just too much. And too much is the overwhelm, the protection system mode. Too much overwhelm comes from a reacting from overcare. Overcare leads to increased controlling in mindset and actions. Dementia is a slippery slope in that state. But she found her key. The people's mind get affected by dementia. The heart doesn't get affected. Also not the soul or the higher self. They stay intact. If we focus on the healthy parts, we can take care of the whole person, not the overcare. From moving with the changes, she created a new role, serving the man beyond the illness, the man she never stopped loving. And from that position, they became equal again. It doesn't take away the dementia process, but they walk a different path. She phoenixed from controlling overcare to a more neutral, loving, calm, true service care. She found a new purpose. She chose existential growth with a deeper self-understanding, a new connection to what's meaningful for her, acceptance of setbacks with a stronger ability to cope or to be with the challenges that are and will be coming. She found herself from the dis-ease to the ease, and I'm so happy for the both, and I will support her in a continuous way wherever I can. In my own life, I can see where I could have taken a path to an existential crisis myself this week. In my working life, in the now, I decided to apply for a job, part-time, on paper an opportunity and designed based on my capacities. A lucky shot, but I underestimated the impact of the process. The need to fit with an organization's set of rules and regulation wasn't an easy one, including a detailed procedure. I had to prove my academic functioning, not only with my diplomas, but also a disc profile and a whole bunch of other things, all fitting to people with payroll jobs. I'm already nearly for 20 years an entrepreneur. Honestly, I did try, maybe too long, but after a bunch of emails and phone calls, I came to the conclusion the rigid organization, although they searched according to the job description for an entrepreneurial person, this organization wasn't a fit. I withdrew myself from the procedure. In the past, I might have been disappointed. For years, I've been an every 2-year job hopper, and rejection is never really uplifting in my experience. But my Phoenix version of the now took the process as a game, being playful, exploring, self-honest, in tune with how I really feel along the way, and that helped a lot. No matter if I can't do what I did in the past, my talents travels with me beyond my limitations. So it does for you, even if you experience an existential crisis. My capacities aren't affected in the core of who I am. Nothing to prove, just to be. And I make the deliberate choice, the choice for existential growth. And that's a phoenix way, a phoenix frequency to rise.